Welcome to another segment of Tony's show, and today we're going to be multi-dimensional. You know, the longer this pandemic, scamdemic, bullshit continues to keep going on, it becomes more and more farcical. It's astounding. I mean, astounding. The mythos and chicanery that's happening with the falsehood and the complete taking over with the mind screw that they're doing to everybody. Fauci today has come out and blamed farming for the spread of COVID. Now this is such a double lie. It's incredible. First, COVID is a vaccine identifier. There's no way anybody could be infected with a vaccine identifier. It's impossible. Second, see, because they're playing on a mind inducement or mass hypnosis. If they keep repeating the COVID-19, 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 what happens is you become seduced with COVID-19. It becomes almost second nature. You hear it all the time. It's being programmed into you. And so when the time comes to get the vaccine, which they'll call COVID-19, you'll line up, drop your britches, bare your arse, and get the needle. And then suffer the dire consequences. As I showed in other shows, they've already tried it on certain places, and they're seeing drastic problems. Now, if you're one of those type that believe in the COVID-19 mythos, all I can say to you, you have to be a special kind of stupid to believe this. And the other thing I would say to you is, more for me. That's simple. I don't have a problem with that. You might, some of you who are, I don't know what you are really, might have a problem with that way I'm putting it, but you know what? Too bad, so sad. Sucks to be you. The thing is, the truth has to be told in a way where we can no longer be nicey, coddly waddly. We are already in World War III. People don't realize that World War III is already on. The general population across the planet is being subdued. This is a war. This is a real, legitimate war. The difference between this war and other wars is being fought with frequencies, mind control, nanobiology, and genetics. That's the difference. You have a show of force when it's required to keep people in check and to create more fear and anxiety. But the war is already on. The psychological war is on. The hypnotic war is already on. You're being programmed. You're being manipulated, deceived. You're being put in a position where you're uncomfortable because now you have to fight. And because nobody's really taught anybody how to fight, it now becomes, you feel awkward and inadequate when you go to a place. All you have to do is tell the truth. The Bible says the truth will set you free. It may raise hell, it may raise the ire of some people, but nonetheless, it'll set them free. It'll set you free as well. So when we're looking at, the confrontations, I was listening to an MP from Perth, and he made a comment pretty clear. Nobody in their right mind wants to be confrontational, especially if you're ever a grocery store chain or a block store chain or square, one of those box stores. Nobody wants a confrontation. Simply put, the reason why they're in business is not to police people who are wearing masks, who are not wearing masks. The employees should understand that it's not their business to tell people when and where to wear a mask. And their job is to run the till, stock the shelves, and be good customer service. That's their job. That's all they're supposed to be doing. If they start shooting off at the mouth, where's your mask? Then you need to shoot back and saying, Is this part of your job description? What is your job? Is your job to run the till? Is your job to stock inventory? Is your job to be good customer service? Then do your job. You don't have any medical background. You have nothing. All you are is a Toby, a slave. I would use the other word, but that's not appropriate. Somebody who has no power. You are here to do your job, and that's it. Not harass people because they're wearing a mask. Now, he made this point pretty clear, that where he's at anyway, he walks in and nobody really has approached him. Now, I haven't really been approached either. I've had some instances where, again, it's an employee being an asshole, trying to be Mr. Big Shot. I mean, I've had a couple incidences. One at a bank where some woman was trying to be the masked police. She thought she was protecting the bank, I guess. I don't know, and I set her straight. And another guy in another store trying to lay out all the rhetoric that they've been programmed to say. And I had a response to everyone he said. Basically, he couldn't say anything. All he kept saying, "I don't want to start that. I don't want." He said, "You're too bad, but you're already in it. You are already in it." Like I said, don't be intimidated because you got an asshole. Now, customers will come in and some of them may say something to you, and then you need to respond back very politely. Say, "Are you a masked police? Does somebody give you the authority to question me about me not wearing a mask? If so, I want to see your badge. If not, shut up." That's it. People need to be set in their place. If they are too scared and they've got no balls to say and to stand up for themselves, and through their fear they want everybody else to be like them, stand up for what is you. If they want to go to hell in a handbasket, that's their affair. If you offer them the information required so they can set themselves free and they want no part of it, again, it's on their head, not yours. Nobody has to take any abuse from anybody. Nobody. If someone says to you, "Where's your mask?" it says, "Where's your badge?" I saw something today that made me laugh. A friend of mine sent me this dialogue box with some saying. Somebody asked this woman, "Where's your mask?" And she replied, "I have a magic rock." And the guy said, "A magic rock? What?" He says, "What's it do?" Now, this is a little Canadian here for those of you who are American and can't handle some of the Canadian words. She told him, "F.A., just like your mask." I saw that. I started laughing. "F.A., just like your mask." The approach, the attitude is the correct one today. That's the correct one today. Because maybe, just maybe, you might set a fire under somebody's arse and they may actually feel the heat and get off their arse and start living again. See, I was watching Orwell 1984, and I put the link up. And when you look at the 24-minute mark, 24:14, you can see how they were propagandizing the people there with a bullshit rhetoric and a bullshit theme. And when you watch it, you see how they had programmed these people to react in a manner which was completely opposite to what they should have been responding to. Apparently there was this war going on between Eurasia and, I guess, the Atlantic, across the Atlantic. And in there was a guy, I guess, from their side who was trying to advocate the need to make peace with the Eurasians. Well, the people responded, "No," and hate. I mean, it was just crazy, the rhetoric. And then when they saw their big brother, which was an AI network, "Oh, praise be Big Brother, praise. We are going to see that. This has already been initiated. Like I said, we are in World War III. They want to, okay, Fauci's saying that COVID can be spread by the farm? I mean, are you effing kidding me? Fauci's an imp, an imbecile, an idiot. I don't know why anybody gives them the time of day. I mean, again, this is their excuse to quarantine the farms and to remove the food supply or reduce the food supply. That food will be stocked and stored somewhere in some government warehouse. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you're going to be paying 10 times more than what you normally pay for. I recall there's a biblical prophecy: man work a day's wage for a loaf of bread. Imagine that. Imagine that. It means that there's going to be a huge famine on the planet. A major famine on the planet. Or one that's been propagated to appear to be a famine on the planet. There's an abundance of food on the planet right now without the genetically modified shit that they're selling to feed the planet 1.5 times, almost 2 meals a day for everybody on the planet. That's what we have right now. Without the help of Monsanto or Bayer or Syngenta or any of the other ones that are out there propagating genetically modified garbage. And we have that much food availability going on, and now we're heading for a famine. I mean, it's not anybody putting 2 and 2 together here. The famine that there is being produced by the globalists or those people that are in charge, like Fauci, making ludicrous remarks that COVID-19 is being spread by farming. This is again another way to cut the food supply. This is how you wage war when you're waging war. You starve them out, you assault them with a psychological profile, a sort of psychological warfare, then you start to create disruption and chaos, so nobody knows who's up and down. Then you start starving the people, then they get sick and die of different diseases, and then you have a war. They want a war. They want a war where you can go in and kill people. They want a war where you can go in and wipe out huge masses of the population. When you watch Orwell 1984, they're fighting Eurasia. Every time they do something, they're rewriting or redirecting the speech, so that what you're hearing and what is the actual speech is now inverted, and people now are speaking in that manner because of the program. Wait till you see what's going to come down next. These people will basically sell their own mothers. Wait till the food supply starts running out in October, November, and there's a shortage at the supermarket. If you think people were going crazy over toilet paper, they're going to go even more nuts over a can of tuna, or a canned potato, or even one potato. Just watch what's going to come down. This will not be mankind's brighter days, I have to tell you, because the people that have been caught up in living day by day or week by week will not be prepared for what's coming down the pipe. As a result, they will kill each other. They'll even try to kill you if they know you have anything like any food, any kind of food supply. This is what's coming. The zombie effect, and a lot of people are going to be dead from these masks, and dead from the hand sanitizers, dead from the latex that they're wearing. They're all going to be dead, but they'll still be functioning and operating because they'll be running under an AI program. The zombie movement will be on its way. You know, just watch what's going to come down the pipe. This election that's coming is another one of these elections. Okay, I was reading something, and from the appearance of what I was reading, it sounds like they're going to try and attempt a assassination on Trump the day of the election, or shortly in that time frame. They even told Biden not to acquiesce if he loses. Just hold your pose. So the Democratic Party is going to be doing something to rig the election some way, somehow. And like I said, when you read what they're saying about Trump and how they got to get rid of him one way or another, that's an assassin. They're talking assassination game. There is what they're talking. So nothing is what it appears to be. Zero. Nothing, nada, zip. Don't assume because some of the people may be having it well off compared to you. Don't worry about that. Eventually you're going to see their true colors one way or another. You know, we are in a war, World War III. We're not in some kind of rosy-dozy, posy, whatever. We are in a war. Remember that. Don't assume anything other than the fact that they are trying to take us out. They've caused chaos. They've created this mass bullshit, again, to further incorporate the programming required for people to commit to the global scenario. And then, you know, you've got the food shortages, power shortages. These are things you need to get ready on. These are things you need to get ready on. Have your food supply stocked up. Have a secondary power source, just in case they do kill the power, so that you can be ready and available to do whatever's got to be done. You know, staying around may not be may not be prudent wherever you may be living. Leaving may not be prudent. So you'll have to debate where and where you would want to go and how you're going to prepare. As we continue in whatever direction we're heading in, well, there's marches going on. Ottawa had a big march for right to bear arms. You know, there's a lawsuit now heading in Germany. I forget the guy's name now, but he's also a lawyer, and he's also, again, on board as far as fighting stuff that's going on. We have been the seduction and reduction of the mental acuity of people is stunning. I saw a sign today saying that another one of those comical signs said that, you know, well, I'm going to change the number of the months, but 9 months ago you said I would die if I didn't wear the mask. I'm still here. What gives? You know, that's another thing you can tell people. You know, I've been not wearing a mask for 9 months. 9 months, bud. And according to the madness of the media, I should be dead. I should have died of the pathology. I'm still standing. No mask. That means my immune system is working just fine. Imagine that. My immune system is keeping me alive. And yours is too. And it would work a lot better if you didn't wear a mask. You know, like I said, I don't know how. I do not know how to get people to quit fearing. I wish I had an answer on that one. I mean, it's one thing to be afraid if there's a legitimate fear. Okay, a nuclear bomb is coming down on your city. Time to get out while you can. You have approximately 8 minutes to get 125 miles away from the explosion that's going to hit your town. So you better have a Bugatti, because it's about the only car I know that can get you that far, that fast, that quick. How fast you go? About 270 miles an hour? Wow, we'll be in London in no time. Hell, we'll be there in 30 minutes. Meow. You know, when you look at some of the weaponry that I'm seeing, they're talking about a Space Force. You know, first Space Force, first troops, blah, blah, blah. I wrote to somebody, and I said, I think the internet, this group or this Space Force is going to be designed to take down the internet. Do you have a backup plan just in case that happens? Do you have a ham radio? Do you have everybody's phone numbers? Mailing addresses? Do you have a file with this information? I mean, you may not be able to get mail through, but with a ham radio, you may be able to contact them if they have one. Just an idea. Maybe everybody should look at getting a ham radio as well. like I said, we are in war. The toys they're coming out with in today's times for the soldiers and for the drones. They got a drone called Ghost, and this drone is loaded for bear. It's got cameras, it's got laser, photonics, it's got tiny missiles. This thing is a war machine. It can distinguish and determine who's a threat and who isn't. This is what you're going to be dealing with in the future. Sophisticated drones that have sophisticated technology that can track you and disable you if need be, or terminate you. How do you stop that? What do you have to use to knock that down? What would be, what kind of weapon would you need? Try an EMP. Try a high powerful pulse, electromagnetic pulse. Fire a high energy discharge. Now, these are things that you need to start considering, because the war that's coming down, if you decide to do nothing, you'll just die that much quicker. Okay, if you're saying that your faith will save you, not in this life, maybe the next. Okay, they are playing for keeps, and those that don't want to join them, they're going to terminate you. That's how it's going to, and they'll do it slow or fast. Makes no difference. When we're looking at all the stuff that they're doing on a technological level, artificial intelligence running the planet, what part of this is not sinking in? It controls everything. If you've got money invested, don't put it all in the bank. Leave some out. Always leave a reserve of money out. For as long as it's going to last, you'll be able to use it. You'll be able to buy stuff with it. You'll be able to move around, do whatever. As long as it's still there. Once it gets into a digital realm, if you've got money and they don't want you to have it, it'll get wiped out. And then try to negotiate with an artificial intelligence that you had money in the bank. The AI will tell you, yes, you did, but it was all withdrawn and spent, blah, blah, blah. And then you can say, well, I never used the money. How are you going to get that back? See, we've been reduced to a level of trust to a group of people that are demonically inclined. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit what you own. They don't give a shit about nothing except to take, to dominate, and to steal. They don't care. They just don't care. So when you're looking at where we're at today, this is why I always tell her, try to get everybody to, start thinking what to prepare, what to get, what you need, things of this nature. They're now coming out with another fallacy with COVID. We heard that now farms can spread COVID, and now COVID is causing brain damage. This is what they're telling everybody. And people are going to be gullible enough to believe this. The COVID, like I said, is a vaccine identifier. It's an acronym. How the heck can it hurt you? Coronavirus, 99.97865% survival rate. How's that going to kill you? But if they get you believing a lie strong enough, you will die. Because you will believe you're going to die. And there is no other option for you except death. I never believed that at all. I've had people come to me who've had cancers and STDs and liver issues and whatever, and supposedly inflicted or infected by some sort of sexual transmission. Anyway, they find solutions. you know. But you get people believing that this boogeyman. We had AIDS in what, the 90s, 80s, and 90s. The boogeyman COVID is coming for you. Back then it was the boogeyman AIDS. AIDS is coming. Oh, AIDS is coming for you. You look out, AIDS. It's going to wipe out half the population. Oh my God, we're all going to die. AIDS. AIDS doesn't exist either. Contrary to what the public has been taught. It doesn't exist. It's just an acronym. People die from, again, epigenetics. Epigenetics is basically anything that can be absorbed or impacting the body in such a way that it can alter the genetic code or genetic functionality. So there's a lot we have been taught that isn't accurate. And the medical field really is not a precise industry either. It's very, very unpredictable. The means and methods that they use to heal people is just horrendous. The traumas that they induce and the violations that get caused by these so-called medical establishment, but they will try to refute anything that anybody says is contrary to the medical field. You know, the medical field stands to be God in this, and the people at the top stand to make trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. So keep that in mind when you hear the propagation that they're putting out there. It's all about money, nothing more. That's it, just money. Not about saving anybody, just money. So with the program ongoing, and we got Fauci now saying farms are going to cause COVID spread and, not wearing the mask and all these things. Again, this is just a form of seduction. Keep people believing, and they got to be pushing the envelope to see what it's going to take for people to finally wake up. The next generation around will be even dumber. They'll have forgotten this. That's the problem. So it's important that you understand you're in a war, and the war is going to use mechanisms in order to seduce, reduce, completely disorientate, completely manipulate. The truth will never be spoken, ever be spoken. You're looking at, what you're looking at primarily is an assault on the whole planet. People in other parts of the world are waking up. I'm not sure what's taking Canadians so long, but, anyone that watches TV like Canadians do, I guess it's possible that they bought into it hook, line, and sinker. But yeah, it's important and imperative, like I said, that you start thinking in the terms you need to think in today's times. The brain damage that the so-called COVID-19 is going to cause, this would be all coming from the mask, all of it. Yet you will never hear them mention the mask as being a problem, because once that happens, people will quit wearing it. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I was watching Polly, Amazing Polly, and she made a comment. Well, we were watching the video she did, and about the elections and how there's going to be problems, and for Biden not to concede even if he loses the presidency. And from the sounds of it, they were planning on some kind of coup to take out the president and possibly to assassinate him, because they even said that as far as Biden not conceding, he's not to basically to hang in there, because they're going to take Trump out one way or another. They're going to take him out one way or another. That sounds like an assassination, is what it really sounds like. We haven't had one of those in a while. And, the state of anarchy is what they're looking for in the United States. That's basically what they're looking at. Right now, because of this COVID nonsense, robots that were in small numbers are now taking over everybody's jobs in some of the bigger outlets and factories. Something to keep in mind of, because if you can't get the materials you need, you've got some kind of supposed infection. They're not going to let you work. They're going to let the AI do their jobs, and once enough AIs take over the jobs, what are they going to need mankind for other than DNA, organ transfer, or adrenochrome? What else are they going to need you for? It sounds brutal and cruel, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And look at Oregon. Oregon, it was the latest. Well, I was yesterday's news. The whole West Coast is on fire. Central part of the U.S. is catching fire, and the fires are not crossing into Canada. Imagine that. Fires that intense, would pass through anything. The heat would just be enveloping everything, not to mention the dust. But when you look at the pictures you go look at the site, you're not going to believe your eyes what they've done and the level of devastation that they have occurred in Oregon, Washington, Montana, and the rest of the states are having to again capitulate to this system of madness. But yeah, this is something that's going on as well. Take a look at the links. I think you'll find them interesting and intriguing. There's not a day that goes by where I don't get so many different diverse messages from all over, plus what I see. So it's like trying to get everybody to see everything, the whole picture, so that you don't wind up falling into the cracks. I guess that's the best way of putting it. On the site, you got activists there. You got Sherry at Three Hearts Church. You got Brian 396. You got Yanni. You got Shy. You got me. Everybody out there is trying to do their best to get you informed and prepared. So any way you can help financially, please do so. And or if you don't have the money, don't worry about it. See what can be done with sharing the data. Alrighty. At the end of these shows, I'm always saying, read the Gospels, read what Jesus had to say. Might not be a bad idea, and if you've never read the Gospels, now may be a good time to start. So I encourage you to do that, and from there, like I said, help spread the word, help wake people up and help them try to get over their fears. Okay, as I always say as I leave, by the grace of God, we're still here. Remember that. We're still here because of Him. And share the links. So the next segment, to your health. Take care.